Okay. Oh, right. Pablo Mio was just, yeah. Okay. Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Pablo Mio's my friend. I should have been with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing. What had to be done. Master Louis wore that same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, all right. I know. There's nothing more you could have done. Ilberd caught us all off guard. Even Zeramar was powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Poplamo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on. Go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. I mean, that shit was fun. There we go. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. "'Twould seem you bring ill tidings, brother." "Aye. Besides the griffin's mask, we found the grinning face... behind the griffin's mask, we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilbrid. I know not how, but he has in possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual, even as we looked on." "By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive." "Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Pablo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilbrid came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the Sea of Clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind, aspect to aether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance." Yes, of course." "We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight." "Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best." "As shall I. Let us be about it, then." "What? Without so much as a by your leave?" Pray forgive Archon Y'shtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I, too, must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alice, I shall honor our fallen colleagues through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilbrid's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. School's out forever. Ah, Zerima, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning we still have no idea how long it'll be before... A communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course. As of Y'shtola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sin Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tartarus' capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. Can't believe I'm getting sound effects. Oh, I thought it was going to be a one-eyed swordsman.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place. It is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Dude? What the fuck was that?
Good, man. Are you all right? Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
I'm trying to think if I should go eat something. Alright. Alright, where am I going? Yeah, the Conjurer's Guild. I gotta get some chips or something. I'll be back. Oh, popcorn. And trumpets. This should be voice acted, I would think.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon. Of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
He's a real bitch.
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega. Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanow since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it. I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I am graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the Academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame?
Kind of a fair point, honestly.
Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us.
Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
I mean, what option do we got?
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye.
It's really a
See,
nuke
we do.
against a nuke.
Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartano and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
Sick. I love her.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions. Not least among them, how Nero chanced to learn... Not least among them, how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. Oh. Okay. There is so much dialogue and stuff. Like, in A Realm Reborn, you're doing so many fetch quests that it seems unnatural to, like, how much you're doing all at one time. In the later quests. And I'm not even, like, when did Stormblood come out? Like, 2015? Maybe? Like... Zeramar, Alphano, ready to go? The others have stepped onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of that man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphano. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yagiri are... well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set... Oh my god. Shall I set course for Cartano? Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying in the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain as clear an understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alphano speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mortona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit your Stola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Zeramar, pray accompany Alice back to the Rising Stones. I should feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right, everyone headed to Mortona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. Yo, girl at the counter. You are traveling with Master Gorlin, sir. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? I'll just fly there. It's been a minute since I flew.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphano. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
Good gods, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly, but now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? Yugiri, you draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oathbound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
So this guy's he's just gonna be a character now? Oh boy.
Zeramal, wait, can I speak to you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you?
Little cat paws.
Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You can try it on right now if you like.
I feel like my character would just strip nude and then just put it on right in front. Oh wow, looking snazzy.
Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light it's, well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, bring you home. May it always protect you.
And I'm back in my regular clothes. I do like those though.
So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Y'shtola and Creel? A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cottonwood Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Zeramar, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of security. I'm exhausted already. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartno before Gaceste graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Aline Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence, and Nero deemed if it the obvious solution to the threat posed by the new Primal, it is not impossible that the Mauled might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight.
Now, where was that? Ah. I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland. Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
Of all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
Alright, let's do it up.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Ooh, a black blade. Imperials have the craziest weapons. Okay, let's see, where am I
You watching, Pabalimo? Leave this to me.
With solid steel!
This will sting. No retreat. No surrender.
Ooh, 6,000. Hopefully they didn't get out of the way.
No holding back.
Look upon a samurai of summer!
It's all over now. The defense is nothing.
Tis my right to strike!
Surrender, we have you outnumbered. What if numbers ever mattered, my man? Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Nice. Behold, the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward! For the Empire! The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men? I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions.
No holding back. Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of summer!
It's all over now. An opening.
I have you!
I don't really understand how to use this thing.
This one'll sting.
How long does it take for that to...
No retreat. No surrender.
Tis my right to strike!
You watching, Pabalimo? Your defense is lacking.
With solid steel!
I don't understand how to use it.
No holding back. Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of summer!
It's all over now. An opening.
I have
retreat. No surrender.
Ooh.
Is my right to strike?
You watching, Pabaliro?
Oh god, you guys are gonna die.
Your defense is nothing.
With soul and steel!
No holding back.
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Doma!
Oh, there we go. Are we good? Deserting a battle is punishable by death. I already stand the ground. Come back here now. Please. Teabag. 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 God damn it, all to the 7th health. I'll kill you bastards if it's the last thing I do.
It's all over now.
Definitely got some power. I won't deny that. I mean, whoa!
No retreat. No surrender.
Is my right to strike?
You watching, Pabaliro?
Your defense is nothing.
Whoa! Oh, he's gone. Whew. I will be your heroes this day. Oh.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing? Suppose not.
I mean, that's literally all we got. This is the only option we have. So, the right thing isn't... There's no right thing in this scenario other than the fact that, like, it's right for the people.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
The giant button?
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Little bit of jiggle jiggle. It folds.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
You know, I don't like how you say that.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
So are we in Omega? Because this is gonna get fucking crazy. No, no sound effects. It's Godzilla. Or, I guess Godzilla doesn't have wings. It's another Bahamut. I suppose that's probably what he prayed to, just something that's like Bahamut. Oh yeah, and then Omega. That's the thing that people are having so much issues fighting in the, like, level 90 quests or whatever. Pew, pew, pew. Whoosh. I really hope this is just because I don't have DirectX 11 enabled and not that how this is actually made, because that would be so confusing. Yeah, that thing was ready to burst right out, though. God, this would be a really epic scene if it had any goddamn sound effects. Is this because I don't have it on Steam? Is that what's going on? But I had all the issues with Steam. I don't know. Whatever. Just, you know. Make up your own sound effects. Swing, swing. Oh, what the fuck? Harpoon cannon? Fire. There's gotta be sound effects to this, but I can't pause it because honestly, I would just like look up the cutscene and play the sound effects. But like, ooh boy. I hope everybody evacuated. couple 100 miles. That's a lot of aether. Hey, Luna. How you doing, baby girl? Now, at least the image or the model's loaded. I've had several times where the models didn't load.
Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Oh, whoa.
Omega destroyed the cocoon. Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
That's interesting. So the tattoos were... Huh. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. One moment everything was functioning perfectly and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves. Soon. I wonder, is this the last one? Words can ill express how glad I am to see you all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait, we must first... the Elder Seatsir is expecting us. Worry not, Alphana. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Wasn't Alpha now with them? I suppose. They're looking here from us, not the other way around. Oh, I did the auto run. Okay. My money don't jiggle. It fold. Step. My friends, fully eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done.
You are too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega Eye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed.
What words could do justice to such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. But I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its mist rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Gir Irbania.
The primal's might defied belief. It seems the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hopes never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight, until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each has landed a fatal blow upon the other.
While most among us could think only of Bahamut when looking up the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of far eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. The Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have, alas, no eyes on the Giribanya side of the border.
Aye, which is why we have sent our main force, under the command of Marshal Tarapin, to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council's adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis systems, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them, save perhaps as a statue.
Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns.
Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the resistant representatives in Giribanya. Though Ilbert is forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation, and by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp.
Yeah, well, pretty lengthy cutscene and not have any dialogue. Or spoken dialogue. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first make a small detour. Yashol and the others have gathered at Emrysai Spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. Can I just teleport? Yeah, what am I doing? Kinda look like big old broccoli trees.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilbird's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
And I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by a mega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She's up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
I mean, it's impressive that he was able to do that at all, considering what the primal ended up being.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. She was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too, and I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know.
And who is she?
Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
I'm not gonna force that out of her.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it.
I see.
So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lys. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lys to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she is resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. Okay. Oh, yeah, I can just skip. I don't know why I thought I couldn't skip that before. Okay, well, I will finish this, and then, yeah, I think I'll be done for the night. He may have mentioned, but Alphino has appraised me of all that came to pass to Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. That is the calm before the storm. Lys has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Gir Ebania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom but indolence, correct? I for one look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you. Here we go. Quick, march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It is almost time, Father.
Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. Very well, Ilbret. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us.
Is this Alamiga or Doma? Or the Empire? I don't recognize the sigil. Ah, it must be the Empire.
My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Baelsar's wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Ugh. Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend... your will be done. Unknown. My spies told me the Domans call it Shinru, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting.
At the far edge of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. The dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. Okay, cool. I think I technically have to start the next quest to like get into Stormblood proper, but I am just gonna quit out here, and I hope y'all have a good rest of your night.